So, part 3, letting go of the negative lets in the positive. There are two things that relate to this, and it's very important that each of us, myself included, lets go at regular intervals of that which we no longer need in life. But there's also, on our spiritual journey, a point at which we decide that we are going to unlearn. We spend how many years in school? 18, 20, we go to university, perhaps more than that. Learning things. Those things store up in us as our attitude towards the world, our perspective towards the world. In order to let in spiritual truths, we need to unlearn that which we have learned. And when I set my feet on the spiritual path many years ago, step by step, slowly, I began to unlearn. And it was a shock to the system. Because as the years went by, I realized that I needed to unlearn about health. I needed to unlearn about diet. I needed to unlearn about life. I needed to unlearn about death. I needed to unlearn about politics. And I don't know whether you remember the programs of a film director called Gerry Anderson. Now, Gerry Anderson was my childhood hero, still is. Actually, I have a bust of him on the fireplace, believe it or not, because he saved my childhood. I could take myself out of this world that I found a very oppressive world and into his fantasy worlds that were always very positive. And as a result, have some respite from this world until I could come to terms with it when I was older. And I loved his series. And you remember Thunderbirds, of course. That's possibly his most popular puppet series. And he produced live-action series as well, like UFO in the 70s and Space 1999, which I also loved. And in one particular episode, one of Gerry's themes that infused all his programs was nothing is what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. Picture the scene. It's an episode of Thunderbirds. We're on a mountain road and there's a man, a puppet, in a bright red new sports car. And he's streaming down this mountain road and he's got his dark glasses on, he's got his scarf on that's waving in the breeze and he's got his hand up on the sill of the door. And he's saying, because these things needed to be Americanized, although they were produced in the UK in order to sell, "Come on, baby, my beautiful baby, my beautiful baby." And he's going faster and faster. Then he looks in the rearview mirror and he's shocked to see that there's a car gaining on him. Not only that, but this car is not another sports car, it's an old dusty Model T Ford. And driving it, there appear to be two what are described in the program as hillbillies. And one of these hillbillies is pipping his horn. He wants to get past this sports car. And so eventually he pulls out and shoots past the sports car and into the distance. And the man in the sports car pulls over, screeches to a halt, and he says, "I don't believe it. I just don't believe it." What he doesn't know is that the car has got a turbocharger and that the hillbillies are international rescue agents out on a mission. Now, you'll remember Lady Penelope, of course. Do you remember powder compacts? My mum used to have a powder compact, and every lady I came across as a youngster had a powder compact. This, in the day, I don't know what happened to them, in the days before mobile phones and video links, Lady Penelope's powder compact was something very special. Because it wasn't just something containing powder and a mirror, it was a transmitter and receiver, and you could get video links on it. Things in Thunderbirds, things in Gerry's programs were never what they appeared to be. Things were not what they seemed. Now that's a positive spin on things not being what they appear to be. But we have to look at this world with a view to unlearning and a view to things not appearing seeming what they appear to be negatively. Because many, many aspects of our lives here that are thrust upon us are not what they appear to be. This is for your good. That is for your good. Oh, really? Well, let me check inside. Let me unlearn on this. Let me do the research. Let me see what the truth is. And a very different picture will emerge. And so unlearning is an extremely important thing for us to do. And unlearning occurs from the heart. We find that we're looking at something and think, hang on a minute, that doesn't seem right to me. Not from here, but from here. It's not right. What do I do about this? I investigate it. I shut out what everybody else is saying, and even what I'm saying via the chatter from my mind, and I go within, and there I will find the truth of what I think about this situation. And we need to unlearn regularly, because unlearning creates a space within us. We're sweeping out what we don't need. And when we sweep out what we don't need, we leave space. Space that can be occupied by higher vibrations from our heart that reveal to us the truth of any situation. It's something that we have to be prepared to do, however, because very often the truth is uncomfortable. Very often the truth dislodges us from the way that society thinks and the ways that society acts. But the other side of that argument is that the truth reveals to us our spiritual link. The truth reconnects us with our divine selves, our angelic selves, our greater selves. And the truth reveals to us a path that is rewarding and a path that takes us away from the deceptions of this world and brings us spiritual clarity and spiritual strength. So, unlearning is highly important. The second thing we need to do if we want to create space within ourselves for spiritual truth is to let go. Now, I don't know about you, but I've done this on several occasions, numerous occasions. I look at the tough spots in my life, and I look at the spots that have caused me harm in the past. I've allowed them to cause me harm, and I think, that's still hurting me. I'm still distressed about that. I haven't forgiven this. I haven't forgiven myself for that. And those vibrations, we store them. We don't realize we're doing it, but the trauma of the years, trauma upon trauma upon trauma, fills us up with memories of the negative aspects of our life and shoos away, pushes out the positive aspects of our life. So it's very good to let go every so often, to really let go. Sometimes we think we've let go, but then the same pattern emerges and think, I'm still resentful about that. I still haven't forgiven this. What's wrong with me? Why is it still with me? It's because we haven't found a way to effectively let go. Well, there is a way, hopefully, because I've put together a way for us to effectively let go, and it involves us in connecting to a higher vibration and to visualizing so that we can effectively let go. So we're going to do a mini meditation now, please. We're going to alter our vibrational rate, and then having altered it, having lifted it, we are going to go through a visualization that will enable us to effectively let go now, and at any point in the future where we think there is something that we need to clear out and let go of. So please, if you would get comfortable, by all means, yes, become comfortable, peaceful. And please, if you would close your eyes. And we are going to use a method to alter our vibrational rate, a rapid method that you can use in your own homes whenever you have a few spare minutes. And I call it the countdown method, and it begins by you visualizing in your mind's eye, first of all, clearing your thoughts. Let go of anything, any worries you have, any aches and pains that you have. They've no business here for the duration of this meditation. And I'd like you, please, to see in your mind's eye the number 10. Now, there are many ways to see the number 10. You can see it as a word. You can see it as a number. You can see it in your favorite typeface. You can color it as you want. You can see it from the left, from the right, from the top, from the bottom. There are many ways to focus on the 10. So now focus on your representation of the number 10, and as you do so, feel peace entering your consciousness. The material world slowly is moving away from you. You are moving away from it. And now gently let the number 10 go. see it fade away in your mind's eye, and replace it with the number 9. Have a look at the number 9. How good it looks. You can make the number 9 into whatever style you want, whatever color you want, whatever typeface you want. And as you concentrate on the number 9, you feel that peace that began to creep in with the number 10 moving closer to you, relaxing your muscles, relaxing your mental faculties, your earthly mental faculties. And now, fade away the number 9 and replace it in your mind's eye with the number 8. It's becoming really peaceful now as you look at the number 8. As you look at the color of it, the way it is written, the typeface it's in, the size it's in. And you feel increasing peace flowing through your body and your mind. Now gently let go of the number 8 and replace it with the number 7. It's becoming very peaceful now. You are very detached from the material world. You are entering the spiritual world. You feel the tingle of spiritual molecules cleansing and healing your body as you let go of the number 7 and replace it in your mind's eye with the number 6. How calm, how peaceful you are. Almost halfway there now. In your own glorious light-filled space. As you let the number 6 fade away and replace it with the number 5. Halfway there, but already you can feel the peace, the warmth of higher vibrations, the love that the soul group has for you, that your family has for you on higher vibrations as you let go of the number 5 and gently replace it with the number 4. So calm, so peaceful, so focused on what we are about to do. And now let go of the number 4 and replace it with the number 3. Almost there, almost in that special place of peace and tranquility from which you can work effectively as the powerful you being that you really are. Let go the number 3 and replace it with the number 2. Count down, almost there. Number 2, very quiet, very peaceful. As you let go of the number 2, replace it with the number 1. And then let the number 1 fade away and enjoy for a few moments the peace that is now surrounding you and infusing you from higher vibration. And now, as the spirit being that you really are, in your imagination, you're going to stand up from your physical body. You allow your physical body to remain sitting in the chair that you're sitting in, but you stand up now as the spirit being that you are, and you take a couple of steps forward, you turn around and you look at yourself. My goodness, there's 2 of you. There's the spirit you looking at the physical you. And you notice that there is an energy line connecting your solar plexus as a spiritual being to the solar plexus of yourself as a material being, so that you are feeding your material self with all the energies that it needs to maintain its physical existence. And you now see that line of energy fading away. It's still there, but you don't need to look at it in what we're about to do. So I want you, please, to turn away from yourself now as your spirit self and to look towards the door that you came through, the door of the Persian room in your mind's eye, and to move towards that door. And as you get to the door sill, you look through it and you see not the cafe that is normally beyond it on a physical level in the sanctuary, but instead you see that there is a path that leads from the door, an outdoor path, beautiful flagstones leading into the distance. And to either side of this path are trees in the most beautiful greens you've ever seen, some of them in blossom, but all of them in leaf. There's this feeling of quiet and peace. And I'd like you now to step out onto that path and to walk slowly along it. And as you do so, you see that ahead of you, the path opens up into a circular clearing surrounded by trees. And it is a grassy clearing, and you step into the clearing and notice that there are only three objects in that clearing, in the center of that clearing. The first is a very comfortable looking armchair. You know that if you sit in this armchair, you will be supported in all the right places, that you will be comforted, relaxed, healed. Standing next to the armchair on the ground, on the grass, either to your left or to your right, you decide, there is an old-fashioned small filing cabinet with two drawers in it, one above the other. And finally, in front of you, were you to sit in the chair and stretch your feet out, at that point where you stretched your feet out, there is a circle of stones, perhaps 2 feet in diameter. And within the circle of stones, there is hay and twigs. Someone has prepared a fire but not lit it yet. And so I'd like you now to go and sit in the armchair, please, and to relax into it, and to feel it supporting you. How comfortable it feels, how supportive, how relaxing, how refreshing. Now, you look over to the filing cabinet that is within easy reach of you. There's no need to get up. And you see that there are 2 drawers in it, as I've said, one above the other. The top drawer has a label on it that says old entries, old entries. And the bottom drawer has a label on it that says new entries, pending, to deal with later. Now I'd like you to reach over to the filing cabinet. There's no need to get up, as I've said, and to gently pull open the top drawer. And in there you'll find that the drawer contains a box of matches and also a brown cardboard folder that has some sheets of paper in it. Take the file and the box of matches out of the drawer, close the drawer and sit back with these objects in your lap. Now open the folder, the cardboard folder. And on each piece of paper you'll discover that something very private to you is written. Something that has affected you in a negative way for some time. Something that you haven't yet been able to completely let go of. One sheet, for example, might concern something or someone you haven't yet been able to forgive for something that you perceive they've done to you years ago. Or perhaps on another sheet is written something you haven't yet forgiven yourself for. Or something else that still causes you pain and trauma whenever it is brought to mind. Another sheet might bring back to you a sense of loss, or regret, or guilt over something. I'd like you now to concentrate for a few moments on what is written on each sheet of paper. And when you've done so, when you've become very familiar with what is written on each sheet, each incident that you need to let go of, I want you to screw up that sheet of paper, to lean forwards, and to place it on top of the pile of twigs and straw in the center of the circle of small stones. Then move on to the next sheet of paper and do the same thing with that. And I'll leave you now for a couple of minutes so that you can do this, and then we'll move on. Now, if you've addressed what's on every sheet of paper and you screwed up every sheet of paper and placed it on top of the pile, don't forget you can always magic up further sheets of paper if you want to continue with things that you need to let go of. I'd like you to open up the box of matches, take a match out, strike it, and drop it onto the pile of sheets of paper and twigs and straws. And to see those things going up in smoke. Watch the whole pile quickly catch light, and your sheets of paper quickly being consumed by the flames and literally going up in smoke. As you trace the smoke up to the sky, you can see that the sky is becoming even more blue than it was before, that the sun is shining. You feel the sunlight on your skin, bathing you with renewed energy, filling that space that you've just created by letting go of your grievances and pains and traumas from the past. Sit back for a moment and watch that blaze, and know that with every lick of flame, the things that have been troubling you are gone forever. They are truly let go of. Now, before you stand up from your marvelous armchair, I'd like you to turn for a moment to the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet, the one marked New Entries Pending, to deal with later. Pull it open, and you'll see that it contains a brown cardboard folder like the top drawer and a pen. Take out the folder and open it, and you'll see that it contains some blank sheets of paper waiting for you to write something on them in future with the pen at some point that we'll talk about once you're back in the sanctuary. Now pop the folder and the pen back in the drawer and gently close it. Now stand up from your comfortable chair and turn around, turn your back on the chair so that you are facing the opening, the path that led to the clearing a few minutes ago. Walk peacefully, slowly back along the path, through the trees, back to the door that leads into the Persian room at the sanctuary. Ahead of you, as you reach the door, you see your physical self, unmoving, peaceful, sitting in the chair in the Persian room at the sanctuary. Cross the room quietly until you are facing yourself. For a moment, there are two of you. Then turn around so that you have your back to your physical self and sit down within your physical body. Become one with it again. Feel all the circuits being connected between the spirit you and the physical you. And now we're going to slowly alter our consciousness back to the material world. And as we do so, we ask the divine to close and seal our principal chakras so that we are protected and ready to take up our physical lives again. So let's do this in reverse. I'd like you to see, as you sit in your chair at the sanctuary, the figure 1. To look at the figure 1 in all its configurations, whatever color you want, whatever shape you want it to be. And when you've got it clearly in your mind, to replace it with the figure 2. And as you look at the figure 2, you feel yourself gently withdrawing from that higher vibration you have been to. And now replace the figure 2, see the figure 2 fade away, and replace it with the number 3. number 3, and we're starting the return journey to everyday consciousness on this earth. As you fade away the number 3 and replace it with the number 4. Getting a strong sense now of returning to the physical. As you let go of the number 4 and return it and replace it with the figure 5. Halfway there. Halfway there. And your principal chakras are being closed and sealed with golden light so that you will not be affected by any negative influences on the material world. As you let go of the figure 5 and replace it with the figure 6. Very close to coming back now. As you replace the figure 6 with the number 7. And the number 7 with the number 8. The number 8 with the number 9. Almost there. The number 9 is replaced with the number 10. And now let the number 10 fade away and peacefully, slowly, and in your own time, knowing that you are sealed with regard to your chakras, that you are protected, that you are infused with light, slowly come back to this level. Everybody back with us. Good, good, good. Now, the bottom drawer in the filing cabinet. Sometimes things can affect us quite suddenly. We think, I'm angry about this, or I don't like the look of that, or how dare they do that to me? Very quickly, in your mind's eye, take yourself along the path, very quickly, into the clearing, take out the folder from the bottom file, write down what's making you angry, and say to yourself, promise to yourself, I'll deal with that later, when I've got the time to go through the full meditation. Pop the file back in the bottom drawer, close it, come back to this world, and continue with your day or with your week or whatever it is, knowing that you have placed that in stasis, that it's not going to affect you, but that you can go back to it whenever you've got the time to go through the full meditation, and you can sort it out by transferring it to the top drawer, seeing what's in what you've written there, putting it on the fire, and letting the flames consume it and take it away from you. My goodness, we've only got a quarter of an hour left, Tony. That's only a quarter of an hour left, Tony. That's taken some time. Who benefited from that meditation? Oh, that's good.